Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. So if you're just seeing my face for the very first time, my name is Jennifer Confidence and I'm currently based in Dublin. So I just moved from Glasgow to Dublin for my second semester. I'm a 2020 ERASMUS Mundus Scholarship awardee. Yeah. Okay, so this is the second video for your interview. But before I go on, I would like to say thank you for, tuning in today. And if you've not subscribed, please go ahead right now and click the subscription button and, click also on the bell so that you always get the notifications anytime a video goes up. You always get the notification. Yes, this is the second video like I promised. So this video basically would be revolving around your interview proper. Your interview proper. Also for today's video, I would want to give a shout out to Kings. He also gave me some tips. I had to talk to him also for a number of minutes, and he also contributed to the things I would be saying today. So in today's video, I want to talk about 5 things that are really important in your interview process. So the first thing I want to talk about is the content of the interview. So it's important you understand that your interview would always revolve around 4 things. It would revolve around your English language level. It would revolve around your motivation for applying. It would revolve around your knowledge of the program, and it would also revolve around your communication and your interpersonal skills. So these are the 4 things your interview would revolve around: English language, motivation, interpersonal and communication skills, and your knowledge of the program. So basically, they want to know how good you are with English language. They want to know your motivation for applying. They want to know your knowledge of the program, and they also want to know your communication and interpersonal skills. So just know this. The second thing I want to talk about is the time frame for responding to questions. Moving on, I would like to say that for every question you are asked, it's important you take about 2 to 3 minutes to respond to these questions. But when there's a need for you to go over, you can take a little more time over it, maybe get to 5 minutes. But as much as possible, you should always try to keep your answers moderate. It should be short, concise, and sharp, catchy. Like your answers should always flow. Do you get? Another thing I would always want to say is that when you do not understand any question you are asked, always ask them to, elaborate on the question. Like they should just tell them you don't get the question. They should re-ask you. They should explain what they mean by the question. They are not there to eat you. If you don't understand what you have been asked, just ask them, could you explain what your question is all about? Like, can you elaborate on that? Just ask them and they would explain what they mean. They're not there to eat you up. Do you get? So it's not they are there to ensure you fail. No. They just want to, they're always, welcoming. So if you do not understand any question, ask them to explain what they mean by the question they're asking you so that you would know what you would answer. Don't fidget and forget to ask them and then you start answering a different thing altogether. So it's better to ask them to explain than for you to start answering something totally off from what they asked you. Do you get? The third thing I want to talk about is your introduction. So like if you've ever attended an interview before, you would know that an interview always starts with an introduction. So usually the interviewers always start off by, introducing themselves to you, and then they would ask you to introduce yourself. Now, this is simply asking you to, give a rundown of your CV, just a summary of it. I don't expect you to just go there and say, my name is Jennifer Confidence and I am from Nigeria. No. Why would you do that? No, you have an entire CV. Some of you have like 5 pages for your CV. And then you would go there and you just say, my name is Jennifer and I'm from Nigeria. What's that? See, for your introduction, you have to give a summary of your CV. My name is Jennifer. I am from Nigeria. I had my undergrad. I studied international relations and strategic studies for my undergrad. I've worked with so and so organization. I had the opportunity to lead this team. I did this. I once conducted a research with UNDP. I once interned with ECOWAS. I once did this. I once did that, and just a whole lot of those things. Then, but just keep it short and concise. Like I already stated about the time frame, 2 to 3 minutes. Just do that. So before you actually start talking about introducing yourself, it's important you appreciate them for the opportunity given to you, the interview opportunity. It's important you start off with that. It's very important. Thank you for shortlisting me for this interview, or thank you for inviting me for this interview. You just know what to just say. Short. Don't go there and be saying God will bless you and your entire family. God will provide for. Please don't do that. Just go straight. Thank you for inviting me for this interview. I appreciate the opportunity. Just short and concise, and then you just go straight into introducing yourself. The fourth thing I want to talk about is your English language level. As much as possible, try to speak calmly, especially for non-native English speakers. Like if your interviewers are French, or they are maybe Dutch, or any other language speaking country that their official language is not English. As much as possible, try to speak calmly, because sometimes they might not be able to follow up with the English, because then they are maybe native French speakers, and they have to learn English and conduct the interview in English. So as much as possible, try to speak calmly. Like you need to speak calmly so that they will follow what you're saying. But now that does not mean that you should be slow, like overly slow. It's not, you will not start saying, my name is Jennifer. No. My name is Jennifer Confidence. Like, pick your words so that they will get to understand you. My name is Jennifer Confidence. I am a Nigerian. I schooled in Ibinedion University. I had my first degree in international relations and strategic studies. So if naturally you're a fast speaker, try to ensure that you speak calmly. You try to learn to speak calmly. Do you get? Like I already stated in the first video where I talked about, you need to have someone to do the pilot interview with you. Like you need to sit down with the person. If you're naturally a fast speaker, you need to sit down with the person and you speak calmly and let the person tell you, okay, you're too fast, you're too slow, you need to be moderate and stuff like that. So just what I want to say is, as much as possible, try to speak calmly, especially for native English speakers. I hope you get that. Now, the fifth thing I want to talk about is your motivation for applying. And this is the most important part of your interview. So you should be expecting questions on your motivation for applying. Why did you apply? Why they should give you the opportunity. So here you have to elaborate on what you already wrote in your essay. You have to tell them how you believe the program will impact your future. So this is the aspect where you get to shoot your shots. According to Nigerians, shoot your shots. So this is the place where you get to shoot your shots. Still under the motivation for applying, you should expect questions revolving around your mobility track. So some programs have mobility track. Like for me, I'm in pathway A, which brought me to Dublin. My other colleagues are in pathway B, which took them to Trento, Italy. So you should expect questions on your mobility pathway. So why did Jennifer choose Dublin? So they should be asking you why you chose the pathway you chose while you applied for the program. So now you have to justify it by pointing out some core courses that the pathway you chose would be taking, or rather would be administering those core courses. And you have to also point out how this relates to your future plans, your career plans, and all that. So that's what will give you the link. So aside pointing out those core courses, you need to link it to your future plans. Still under the motivation for applying, you should expect questions around your future plans, career goals, like, what do you want to do in the future? So as much as possible, even though this question most times might come open-ended, do you grab? Like they will be like, what are your plans for the future? As much as possible, try to divide them into short-term, like your short-term goals, your medium-term, and your long-term goals. Like as much as possible, try to divide them into these three. And that would help you answer the questions effectively. Another thing under the motivation for applying, you should also expect questions on your background. So the course you took during your undergrad and your work experience. So they are just expect questions around that. They might ask you, okay, so how does your background or work experience, how does it relate to this course that you have chosen to, undertake? So you need to explain. If you took some specific courses, you need to actually explain. If you did some roles that are in relation to, like your work experience that are in relation to the course you're applying to, you need to explain. And then for those whom their courses are not related, like you are transitioning to a different course altogether, this is the place where you need to explain why you are transitioning. So let's say, for example, I studied business administration for my BSc, and then here now I'm applying for security. Do you see the gap from business administration to security? So why am I transitioning from business to security? This is the place where you need to, make that clear. Tell them, this is why I'm transitioning. You know why you're transitioning. So you're the person that can best say it. So this is a place where you need to hit that nail on the head. Another thing is you should also expect questions around your research interest. They might have questions, have you answer questions around research interest. So now, what are your interests, like your research interests and all that? So this is the place where you need to tell them, okay, I'm interested in researching on gender and security, blah, 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 blah. Or, okay, I have a couple of interests, gender and security, international development, global governance, but you're also waiting to, try to undertake the course and see if you would try to, if you would be having some other interest from your exposure into the course, and then, just something like that. Please don't go there without any research interest at all. At least try to have something and say, okay, do I have an interest in this, but I also expect to maybe pick up other interests when I start the course proper. So it's always cool to have that. Finally, I think you should also expect questions around challenges you would face as an international student coming to Europe. You should expect questions around that. So for those of us coming from Nigeria, they would ask you, okay, are you foreseeing any challenge like for during your studies and all that? Obeni, tell them yes. Weather, number one. Different academic institutions, like different academic system, number two. Like the systems are totally different. You need to be plain. The weather, don't forget that, because we don't come from this type of region. Where we come from is moderate. Like for me, I come from Port Harcourt, so it's not too hot or too cold. We're in between. So if they ask you that kind of question, don't forget to always mention weather. For me, I will always say weather. Number one, weather. And then number two, they are totally two different education systems. Like they're totally different. So you expect to have some, challenges and maybe try to settle down later. It's expected. So go ahead and tell them. Don't say, no, I'm not expecting anything. Nothing will shake me. And yet you've never left your country before. You need to be plain. Like tell them no, that you expect the weather, especially if you don't come from a region that they have snow or their weather is going minus. Please, as much as tell them the truth. You expect to have a challenge with the weather. You expect to have a challenge with the learning. You expect, tell them also, if the learning would be online. If you're Nigerian, most of us have never learned using online, apart from maybe we're doing some workshop online with them through Zoom. But most of us, like, we've always had in-person classes. So now transitioning into online class, tell them it would be, you expect to find that quite difficult, like sitting down in front of computer, like for those number of hours to learn. Tell them you find it challenging because it's actually the first time you will be doing that, and it will not be for a long time. You expect to find it difficult. Please tell them. Anyways, we hope that before you would start, maybe things would go back to normal, and the COVID and all that, things will go back to normal, and then you have in-person classes. But however, just tell them, however, like if the program will go on online, like you heard about some Erasmus courses, that you expect to have some challenges because sitting down in front of computer and looking at it and tears dropping from your eyes sometimes, especially if you have issues with your eyes. Tell them. Okay guys, so these are the 5 things I thought I should share with you, but these 5 things, it has plenty children that will have to talk for so long. Thank you so much for watching, and this is a reminder once again, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, other videos would be coming up soon. Also on this interview. I've had lots of inputs, and I need to make those videos also. So congratulations once again to those who have gotten to the interview stage. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you do well, and I hope you get shortlisted for the scholarship. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.